Joining me right now is Research Director at the Media Research Center, Rich Noyes. Rich, good to see you. Let's talk about this merger. I mean, if this happens, you'd be creating an enormous, very powerful media organization. And CNN, which is already fairly powerful, would get even bigger. Let me just ask you, what happens, what is the danger when any company gets too big, and specifically a media company?
Well, the danger is they crowd out competition. They begin to own sort of the neighborhood, and you can't sort of find a way to get around them. If somebody like a CNN and a Time Warner is involved in entertainment plus news plus a lot of television programming, they have all kinds of ways that they can get in there and influence public opinion. It becomes a company that is could be very, very large. I think the bigger issue with Time Warner, of course, is also the cable access. That this is the cable access that you have with the internet in millions and millions of people's homes. So it does become something where there is an interest in making sure it's not too big to choke off other people's competition.
Let's talk about
has a monopoly role over public opinion.
That's what I want to get to, this monopoly role over public opinion. I mean, there's already a concern out there amongst many of our viewers, frankly, that mainstream media is big enough as it is, and mainstream media has a very particular bias, a bias that's very sympathetic with President Obama and Hillary Clinton.
Right.
Now you got CNN out there publishing, defending as well, fake news, and it is fake because they were not able to verify it. Nobody was able to verify this stuff, which to me as a journalist, you don't put it out there because otherwise you're just trafficking in gossip. Isn't it a little dangerous to think that they could be that big, that important, and be trafficking in fake stuff?
It is absolutely very disturbing. Yes, I listened to the earlier conversation. It is true BuzzFeed is the first to publish this 35-page document, but CNN was referring to it on air in their breaking news coverage earlier that day. They broke the dam on this story. What had been not fit to publish hours earlier, they were trying to create a rationale to get it published. Now, they didn't publish it themselves, but they certainly helped grease the skids for it to be published. So that's something that, if you feel that kind of, you have that kind of license to go after a president on the verge of inauguration, that's a company that doesn't fear too much.
It's just not journalism. I mean, that's the reality of all of this. And I think as the president and his team looks at this merger, I mean, they're looking at basically, as you pointed out, this access to the internet, access to cable, but also there's a content aspect of this too. Do you have, one single player controlling too much content? And if so, there's a danger in that. Do you think the merger will go through, Rich?
Oh, I don't know, but I was going to say, to add to that equation, you have other content providers who might compete, trying to traffic in on Time Warner's cable access, so then it becomes something where they can maybe, perhaps choke off competition using their cable pipes.
We'll be watching. Rich, thank you so much.